If you've ever wondered who will eventually succeed Rush Limbaugh and Sean Hannity as the voice of conservative opinion, it may just be Ben Shapiro. Who's that? Here's our Power Player of the Week.
In a free country, it is up to you to succeed or fail on your own merits. So get off your ass and do it.
Yes, Ben Shapiro talks fast. But then for most of his 33 years, he's been a man in a hurry.
I'm Ben Shapiro. This is The Ben Shapiro Show.
He's the host of the most listened to conservative podcast in the country.
I do like that Trump does have a rotating series of about 10 insults, and he just keeps going around and around.
He's the editor of the Daily Wire, which gets 100 million page views a month. And he's a big presence on college campuses, where his militant conservative views spur protests.
You're not a man if you think you're a man.
This exchange with a 22-year-old college student over transgender identity has attracted 47 million views on Facebook.
Why can't you identify as 60? What is the problem with you identifying as 60? You're right. Age is significantly less important than gender. You can't magically change your gender. You can't magically change your sex. You can't magically change your age.
At the University of Utah, he listed what he calls the hierarchy of victimhood in America.
So it goes LGBTQ, and then black folks, and then Hispanic folks, and then women, and then Jews, and then Asians, and then way down at the bottom, white straight males. Right? Those are the people who are at the very bottom, and their opinions do not matter at all.
Shapiro has been called the voice of conservative millennials. How are conservative millennials different from conservative baby boomers?
By the time a lot of conservatives hit baby boomer age, there's a mentality that's set in that they're always losing, and that every choice, every political choice particularly, is a lesser of two evils choice. If you're a conservative millennial, I think that you tend to be a little bit more idealistic, just as younger people are generally.
While he applauds some of President Trump's policies, he says the tweets are needlessly divisive and turn off his generation.
Young people in the United States dramatically dislike this administration, and they dramatically dislike the Republican Party. And it is President Trump's responsibility, for conservatives anyway, to fix that. And sitting there and on Twitter and retweeting Britain First is not going to do that.
Shapiro worked for Breitbart in the campaign, but quit when he says it was turning into a Trump propaganda arm. As for Steve Bannon,
I think that Steve is very interested in being perceived as powerful, as being perceived as a mover and shaker. I don't think he's nearly as much of a mover and shaker as he wants to be seen as.
As we said, Shapiro has always moved fast. At age 5, he dressed for Halloween as John Adams. By age 17, he wrote a nationally syndicated political column.
I skipped a couple of grades. I was a virtuosic violinist. I actually, when I went to college, thought that I was going to double major in genetic science and music. So I was always pretty driven.
Things that I hate.
And his only plan now is to keep pushing his special brand of combative conservatism.
Sometimes the best way to get a message across is to just speak bluntly. And so I'm not going there to deliberately offend people. I'm saying things that I think are true with precisely the amount of verve I think necessary to convey the message.
After our interview, I had one piece of advice for Shapiro. Try talking a little slower so some of us can keep up with him.